You're listening to LIONAR on FREAKEMTV. Freakem, baby. Freakem, baby.
Freakem, baby.
Freakem.
Freakem, baby.
Yeah.
Freakem.
Freaking, baby.
I'm a real freak, I need a real freak. I'm a real freak.
Let's take a walk around. Got the dark tints on the back. Well, the spoiler wrapped. Orange calipers. The mirrors wrapped. Front calipers done. Sitting on a 20mm wide stance. Got the dark wrap. Wrapped, mirrors wrapped. Full 360 around the car, and when you see it, it's wider. Like the width on it is cream white interior. If you look through, you're a freak. You select you're a freak. Welcome YouTube, it's your boy Freak. We're in my M3 today, and we've seen what it was like on the dyno with a remap. I had to bring this vlog to you because for me it's the only facelift M3 available right now. This is one of the latest models. It's a late 2016 early 2017 model, and this M3, can you remember that lyric once they said in that movie? This car's violent and it sounds like a dragon on steroids. And if you don't know what a dragon looks like on steroids, look at me! On a serious note, even before the car got modified, it was quick. I never had an M3. And this is the F80 4-door M3. The M4s, just in case people don't know, are the 2 doors. The M3 are the equivalent of the 4 doors. And I think the M4s, the 2-door coupes, look more stockier from behind because of 2 doors. But the arches on the M3, you might forget about it. It's a Fugazi. The M4's a Fugazi compared to this. This is the original. It's just, the arches are so wide, and I can remember my 400R when I had my 400R, and it's had a stance. I'm going to show you today what the stance is like on this car. And this is running 500 horsepower. It's running 700, just over 700 Newton meters of torque. That is quick for a twin turbo car. Standard 425 horsepower, and it sounds like I'm pumped. The thing about the car is, even though it's a rear-wheel drive, in the dry weather, it's got really good traction. And I was shocked with that because I personally thought that these cars, because I'm used to the older models and they never used to hold as much traction to the floor, but these cars for some reason they got a lot of traction and they glue to the floor quite well. So I'm very impressed with that myself. I really personally think that if you're going to buy an M3, you won't be disappointed. I've had the C43 recently, that was a 4-wheel drive, and you know what, to be honest, I prefer this. I prefer this for the noise, for the way the power feels in the car, the way the car stimulates you as you drive it, because you've got so many different settings. We're going to go through it in a minute, but it's just decent. It's instant, it punches, it bites. The car has got so much character, that's better, isn't it? Turn the windows up. The car's got so much character. The 43 was a 9-speed auto, this is a 7-speed auto, and you can just tell the torque going through gear to gear. When you change the gear, you feel like it releases the clutch and it pulls you back in the seat more. It just feels more ferocious, more venom. The car punches like Mike Tyson with your left hook. The thing is, when you got the settings here, you got 3 separate settings. One's a steering wheel, one's suspension, and one's an engine on the car. And when you flip it, basically it will show you on the display. But the quickest way to do it is when you go to the display and you go to my vehicle, you can set your M drive settings in. The M drive settings go on these buttons here. So you got M1, you got M2, and the best way to do is save the settings as you please. So if you go to the M1 on the display and you press it down, you could change these to 9 independent settings. So I could change that to Sport, Sport Plus. I could change my chassis to Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and the same all around. The best thing I like to do is on my M1 mode, keep the chassis on Comfort, because you're not really gonna rip it to where it rolls anyway. And the steering wheel, you want it on Comfort because I prefer it to be a bit lighter. So when the steering wheel is on Comfort, it's a lot more lighter, and it's such a good steering wheel. Probably the best steering wheel I've felt in my hands for a performance car, because it's nice and thick and it gives you lots of grip and you feel like you are actually in control of the car. Whereas sometimes you get the thin steering wheels and you feel like they don't justify the means to an end for the car. Anyway, so I keep them on Comfort. Back on here a second. Then you got transmission, which you've got 1, 2, drive 1, drive 2, drive 3. These are all automatic changes, and if you put it down here, that button there is the same as D1, D2, D3. It basically makes the gearbox more stiff and the reaction to changing the gears becomes longer and stronger. So D1, D2, D3, that is auto changing, but S1, S2, S3 is manual shifting. That one revs higher and this one revs higher, and that one's a lot more stronger. Amazing what they've done, and you can reset at any time. But then you got M drive too. So my M drive is Sports Plus. Everything's in Sport, and the engine on Sport Plus. So when I put it in this, you can hear the exhaust pop off more, and the response is good. And I just keep it in the bottom end of manual gearbox, because I think otherwise you'd stretch so much it goes towards the engine, and you kind of hurting the engine a bit. Not that you can hurt the engine in these cars, because they're built in such a safe mode. If there's anything wrong with the car, it'll go into limbo. But yeah, amazing car. Really such a good pleasure to drive. Rear wheel drive, I don't care. I'm a 4-wheel drive man, but this car honestly should be rear wheel drive, because you can just play around with it and enjoy the features on the car. And the thing is that when the traction control kicks in, it actually cuts out the power to the wheels temporarily, which most cars do, but it feels like it's not taking away the fun from the car, so you can still drive it a little bit wild. But if you take the traction control off completely, which is this button here, and now it says DSC deactivated on my setup here. And the good thing is, this rev meter, when it's on amber on 7, when you start it off, it'll be 5, 5.5. The colder it is, the more red line it will, be red line safety. So I really recommend anybody having one of these cars have the DSG box. You can get them in manual, but manual, what's the fun in manual? Why? I've switched the DSC off from there, and you can actually feel the car sliding, withering like a snake, like a cobra, and it feels good, doesn't it? But yeah, this is my review today. M3 F80 2000 late 16 early 17 model. It's got the revised headlights on the rear, and little tweaks on it. A really good car, you know, pound for pound. You can't buy anything on the road that sounds as good or goes as well. The C63, I'm a Mercedes man. I've been brought up in Mercedes all my life, AMGs, but you cannot have this much fun in any other car on this kind of level. The only car that beats this in a straight line is the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio, which is just marginally quicker, but around the track this beats it all day long. This is the best built chassis you can have. It's a freakum chassis. This time you drive an M car. Basically, this M car, it's such a good car to drive. You know, the chassis, the way they built this car, it's probably the best, one of the best cars I've driven for a rear wheel drive. I think it can out-handle most cars. I've had an M135, M140, the 1 Series, and them cars are quick. And I got a feeling the 140 standard and this standard, the 140 will be neck to neck with this, because it's a smaller car and it just punches so much sharper. But the whole package on the M car, this M3, it can't be replicated with any other car. The C43 can't touch it. The C63, you know, I've driven them. I've had the older ones. I've driven the new ones, and they got one constant noise when you put your foot down, like rah! But this, it's like got 2 turbos. The first one spools in at 3,000 revs, and then the second one punches at 5,000, and there's 2 different noises to the car. And it's amazing because you just want to hear it punch all the time. And fuel economy wise, I'm not going to lie to you, 7-speed, it feels better fuel economy than my C43 on the stretch. I'm not even exaggerating. If you're keeping this 70, like sticking to the speed limits, which you should, and 70 mile an hour when you're coasting down the motorway, this will do you on the average consumption. It done me like 48 or 50 mpg. That is mind-blowing, because what it translates to is about 65 to 70 miles on 10 pounds. You fill the tank up, it's about just under 80 pounds to fill the tank up. On a full tank, you could do just under 400 miles. Now that is phenomenal. That is phenomenal combined. And around the streets, you'll get a good 30, 35 miles on a tenner if you're driving it just normal. 30, 25, 28, you'll get the MPG around there. But a really good car, you know, it's got the carbon fiber roof that comes standard on these, and it's a really well built car. For me, as a review, for fuel economy and overall the car itself, this car for me is a very high 9. A very high 9. It's a supercar, everyday supercar, decent boot space. You can put 5 people in it, and that's the whole reason I buy these cars, because I need 5 seats at all time. and you know 4 seats just don't cover it. Otherwise I would have the RS5, the M4, the C63 Coupe S, but for me I get limited in what I can buy. For me this is probably the best car money can buy under £40,000. If you're going to buy a supercar for under 40 grand, that's going to give you fuel economy, power, noise, playfulness. The reason for me this car ticks all the boxes also is the colour combination. The colour combination is this marina blue colour, marina blue, and the cream leather seats, the white cream. You can't beat it, and I just think the colour combination helped me pick this car. Now the car itself, you got different colours to the M3, but they make some really nice individual colours, and I think the blacks are dead in this car. There's the green colour, they got the racing green colour, and they got this like Lambo green colour. I think that's awesome. The Sacket orange, that looks red, and the orange itself, which is the M3 CSL colour, is bad boy. So if you're gonna get an M3, stand out, because you drive like this. Yeah, you thought I crashed the car there, didn't you? You wish. Freak 'em! You for watching, and do leave a comment and do subscribe if you haven't already. I'm watching you. Freak 'em!